In a corner of Southeast Asia, where great rivers carve paths through timeless landscapes, lies a nation that seems to listen to the whispers of a different age. It is a land born from the legacy of ancient kingdoms, a gilded world of sacred spires that rise from the morning mist, and a people whose lives are guided by the quiet rhythm of tradition. This is a place built on a foundation of unshakable faith and a deep, enduring grace. This is Myanmar. From a distance, it appears as a golden mirage, a country suspended in the amber of its own history, a landscape of serene, monumental beauty, seemingly untouched by the frantic pace of the modern world. The very air feels ancient, scented with incense and the fragrance of rain on dusty earth. But to look closer is to discover a vibrant and complex society, one that is not frozen in the past, but carries its history into the present with every gesture. This is a story not of a forgotten kingdom, but of a living culture, of a deep and abiding connection to the faith that illuminates, to the land that nourishes, and most importantly, to the communities that form the heart of its existence. This is the story of the quiet rhythm of daily life in Myanmar. Life in Myanmar is governed by a rhythm that is at once gentle and deeply rooted in routine. It is a pace dictated not by the clock, but by the sun's journey across the sky, the turning of the seasons, and the timeless rituals of faith and family. The day begins early, before the heat builds, with the first light of dawn. This is when the country awakens, not to the sound of alarms, but to the crowing of roosters, the distant chanting from a monastery, and the familiar sounds of a community stirring to life. The morning market is the vibrant heart of every town and village. It is a sensory symphony. The earthy smell of fresh produce, the fragrant aroma of spices, the sizzle of oil in a street vendor's wok. This is more than just a place of commerce. It is the community's central nervous system. It is where the news of the day is exchanged, where friendships are maintained over a bowl of noodles, and where the essential social fabric of the community is rewoven each morning. Here, in this unhurried chaos, the pace of life is human, personal, and deeply connected. The tea shop, or Lafet Yai Seng, is the other great institution of daily life. It is Myanmar's living room, a place where people from all walks of life come together. From dawn until late at night, these simple, open-air establishments are filled with conversation. Business deals are struck, political news is debated, and life's small victories and sorrows are shared over small cups of strong, sweet milk tea. It is a place of pause, a social anchor in the day where time seems to slow down, and the simple act of sharing a cup of tea becomes a powerful ritual of connection. In a society where the home is a private sanctuary, the tea shop is the public square, the essential hub of community life. The family is the undisputed cornerstone of Burmese society. It is the source of identity, security, and social standing. The family unit is traditionally large and multi-generational, with grandparents, parents, and children often living together in the same house or in a cluster of homes within a single compound. This creates a powerful and resilient support network, a web of shared responsibilities and mutual care that forms the bedrock of the community. Respect for elders is a core value, deeply ingrained from childhood. Grandparents are revered figures, the keepers of family history and tradition, and their wisdom guides the family. Decisions are often made collectively, with the well-being of the group taking precedence over the desires of the individual. Children grow up with a profound sense of belonging, surrounded by a wide circle of aunts, uncles, and cousins. They are raised not just by their parents, but by the entire community, secure in the knowledge that they are part of something larger than themselves. This inherent closeness fosters a powerful sense of collective responsibility. In the villages, when a family needs to build a new house or harvest their rice paddy, the entire community will come together to help, without any expectation of payment. This spirit of mutual assistance, known as loa pau, is a fundamental principle of social life. It is an unspoken, deeply ingrained understanding that the well-being of the individual is inseparable from the well-being of the whole. This interdependence is not a choice. It is a law of social harmony that has sustained the culture for centuries. Tradition in Myanmar is not a relic of the past. It is a living, breathing force that permeates every aspect of daily life. At the heart of this tradition is Theravada Buddhism. It is more than a religion. It is a complete way of life, a moral and philosophical compass that guides the nation's soul. The landscape itself is a testament to this devotion, with countless pagodas, temples, and monasteries dotting the cities, towns, and even the most remote hillsides. The Sangha, the community of monks, is the most respected institution in the country. To give alms to a monk during his morning rounds is a fundamental act of merit-making, a way for lay people to support the monastic community and cultivate good karma. Nearly every Burmese man will spend some time in a monastery, once as a young boy and again as an adult, a rite of passage that deepens their understanding of the faith. The sight of a long line of monks, young and old, walking silently through the streets at dawn to collect their single meal of the day is one of the most iconic and enduring images of Myanmar. This cultural identity is visible in the way people dress. The traditional longi for men and shtamin for women, a simple, elegant sarong-like garment, is still the preferred daily wear for the vast majority of the population. It is a practical and graceful symbol of national identity, worn with a quiet pride. Another visible tradition is the use of thanaka, a fragrant, yellowish-white paste made from ground bark. It is applied to the faces of women and children in beautiful, creative patterns, serving as a natural cosmetic, a skin conditioner, and a sunblock. It is a tangible, everyday expression of a culture that values natural beauty and time-honored customs. Festivals are the vibrant punctuation marks in the calendar, powerful expressions of collective joy and faith. The most important is Thingyan, the water festival that marks the Buddhist New Year in April. For several days, the entire country engages in a joyous, nationwide water fight, a symbolic washing away of the sins of the old year to start the new one fresh. It is a time of immense celebration, a moment when the normal rules of life are suspended, and the entire nation comes together in a spirit of fun and renewal. For centuries, the economy of Myanmar has been rooted in the soil. Agriculture remains the backbone of the nation, with the vast majority of the population living in rural areas and depending on the land for their livelihood. The rhythm of farming life dictates the pace in much of the country, a cycle of planting, tending, and harvesting that is governed by the annual monsoon rains. Rice is the undisputed king of crops, the staple food, and the foundation of the rural economy. The landscape of the great river deltas, particularly the Irrawaddy Delta, is a vast, intricate mosaic of rice paddies. Life for a farming family is one of hard, physical labor, often using methods that have changed little over the centuries. The water buffalo is still a farmer's most valuable partner, and much of the work is done by hand, from planting the young rice shoots to threshing the harvested grain. In the cities and towns, the economy is a bustling mix of small-scale enterprise. Local markets are the vibrant centers of commerce, where everything from fresh produce and hardware to textiles and traditional medicines is sold. Street vendors are an essential part of the urban landscape, their mobile carts and stalls offering quick, affordable meals and snacks. Many families run small businesses from the ground floor of their homes, a tailor shop, a small grocery store, or a motorcycle repair service. Traditional crafts are another vital part of the economy, a source of income that also preserves precious cultural heritage. In the ancient city of Bagan, artisans create exquisite lacquerware, a painstaking process of applying and polishing layers of resin to create beautiful, durable vessels. In the villages around Inle Lake, weavers produce fine textiles from silk and the unique fibers of the lotus plant. These skills are passed down from generation to generation, a living link to the past. Yet despite this industriousness, life for many is a daily struggle. Economic hardship is a persistent reality, and people face these challenges with a quiet resilience and a remarkable ability to make the most of what they have. Burmese food is a direct and honest reflection of its culture, communal, generous, and deeply connected to the land. The cuisine is a flavorful blend of influences from its neighbors, China, India, and Thailand, but with a unique character all its own. A meal is not a series of individual plates, but a shared experience, with all the dishes placed in the center of the table for everyone to enjoy together. Rice, or htamin, is the heart of every meal. It is the neutral canvas upon which the other flavors are painted. A typical meal consists of a generous portion of rice served with a variety of dishes, or hin. These are most often curries, which in Myanmar are typically mild and savory, characterized by their use of onions, garlic, ginger, turmeric, and a generous amount of oil, which helps to preserve the food. The curries can feature fish, chicken, pork, or mutton, as well as a wide array of vegetables. Alongside the curry, there will almost always be a light, clear soup or hinyo, and a selection of fresh or blanched vegetables served with a pungent dipping sauce, often a fermented fish or shrimp paste called ngapi. This balance of flavors and textures, salty, savory, sour, and fresh, is the hallmark of the cuisine. Noodle dishes are also incredibly popular, especially for breakfast or as a light meal. The unofficial national dish is mohinga, a comforting rice noodle and fish soup, often garnished with crispy fritters, cilantro, and a squeeze of lime. Another favorite is onno khao sway, a richer chicken and coconut milk noodle soup. Tea culture is central to social life. Beyond the sweet milk tea served in tea shops, there is lafet thok, a unique and beloved salad made from pickled tea leaves mixed with a crunchy assortment of fried beans, nuts, and garlic. It is a dish that is both a snack and a social ritual, often served to guests as a gesture of hospitality. At its core, Burmese food culture is about sharing. A shared meal with family, featuring simple, wholesome ingredients, remains the truest and most authentic taste of the country. To truly understand Myanmar is to understand its relationship with nature. The landscape is not a passive backdrop. It is an active, powerful force that shapes life, commerce, and culture. The country is defined by its great rivers, most notably the Irrawaddy, which flows from the high Himalayas down to the Andaman Sea. For centuries, this river has been the nation's main artery, a source of water for the rice fields, a highway for trade and transport, and a wellspring of myth and legend. Life along its banks moves at a slower, more deliberate pace, in harmony with the river's steady flow. The vast central plains, where the majority of the population lives, are a landscape shaped by agriculture, a seemingly endless expanse of rice paddies that turn from a vibrant emerald green during the monsoon season to a dusty gold before the harvest. This is a land of open skies and wide horizons, where life is lived in close connection to the earth. Surrounding these plains are rugged forested mountains, home to many of the country's diverse ethnic groups. In places like Shan State in the east, the landscape is one of rolling hills and high plateaus, where a cooler climate allows for the cultivation of different crops. Here, life is more isolated, and communities have maintained distinct traditions for centuries. The tropical climate, with its distinct wet and dry seasons, dictates the rhythm of all outdoor life. The arrival of the monsoon rains around May is a time of celebration and relief, as the parched land is brought back to life. It is the season of planting and growth, a time of intense work in the fields. The long dry season that follows is a time for harvest, for festivals, and for travel. Life here is lived in deep, abiding appreciation of the natural world, with a profound understanding of its power to both give and take away. Life in modern Myanmar is a study in contrasts, a seamless blend of the ancient and the contemporary. This is most visible in the realm of transportation. On the streets of cities like Yangon and Mandalay, a vibrant and chaotic dance unfolds every day. Motorbikes are the undisputed kings of the road, weaving skillfully through the traffic, often carrying entire families or improbable loads of goods. They are the symbol of personal freedom and economic aspiration for many. Alongside them are the city buses, often decades-old vehicles from Japan, packed to overflowing, with a conductor hanging from the side, calling out destinations in a rhythmic chant. Trishores, or Saikar, pedal slowly through the quieter side streets, offering a more leisurely way to travel short distances. In the countryside, the ox cart is still a common sight, a timeless mode of transport for moving goods and people. The rivers remain vital transportation corridors. On the Irrawaddy, modern multi-deck ferries share the water with simple wooden longboats, carrying people and cargo between the riverside towns and villages, just as they have for centuries. This juxtaposition of old and new is a defining characteristic of daily life. It is entirely possible to see a farmer plowing his field with a pair of oxen while talking on a smartphone. This blend of tradition and modernity allows people to enjoy the strong community bonds of a traditional society while slowly embracing the opportunities of the connected world. High-speed internet is becoming more common in the cities, yet in many rural areas, electricity is still an unreliable luxury. It is a carefully navigated reality, a testament to the people's ability to adapt and innovate while holding fast to the values they hold most dear. For the young people of Myanmar, growing up here offers a unique and complex blend of deep-rooted duty and modern aspiration. Education is highly valued, seen as the key to a better future. For centuries, monasteries have been the traditional centers of learning, and even today, monastic schools provide a free education for many poor and orphaned children, offering a path of opportunity that might otherwise be closed to them. The public school system is extensive, but for higher education, many young people must leave their hometowns and villages to attend universities in the larger cities like Yangon or Mandalay. This move is a modern rite of passage, a chance to experience a different kind of life, to gain new skills, and to forge an independent path. But the pull of home and the deep sense of family obligation remain incredibly strong. It is expected that children will care for their parents in their old age, a sacred duty that shapes many of their life choices. Young people must navigate a delicate balance between their personal ambitions and the traditional expectations of their families and communities. They are a generation that is more connected to the outside world than any before them, exposed to global trends through the internet and social media. The great challenge for Myanmar is to create enough diverse and rewarding opportunities to allow its young, educated population to thrive at home. It is a continuous balancing act, fostering economic growth and innovation while preserving the unique culture and the central importance of the family. The goal is to build a future where the next generation can find fulfilling work and build their lives in the communities that raised them, ensuring that the vibrant tapestry of Burmese society continues to flourish. The rhythm of day and night in Myanmar is a study in stark and beautiful contrasts. The daytime is for work, for commerce, for the bustling, outward-facing activities of life. The sun is intense, and the streets are filled with a vibrant energy. The markets are at their peak, the tea shops are full, and the air is thick with the sounds of a society in motion. The days are for doing, for making a living, for tending to the responsibilities of family and community. As evening descends, a profound and palpable sense of quiet takes hold. The fierce heat of the day softens, and a gentle breeze often stirs. Life turns inward, toward the sanctuary of the home and the comfort of the community. As the light fades, the shops and markets close, and the streets empty. The energy of the day dissolves into a deep and peaceful calm. This is a time for family. Homes glow with a warm, inviting light. Families gather for the evening meal, the most important moment of the day for connection and conversation. The television might be on, but the focus is on being together. In the villages, the quiet is even more profound. The night is dark, often lit only by the moon and stars, and the only sounds are the chirping of crickets and the distant bark of a dog. The evening is for rest, for reflection, and for recharging the spirit, ready for the new day. Life in this beautiful and historic land is not without its significant challenges. Decades of isolation and conflict have left their mark. Economic hardship is a daily reality for a large portion of the population, and poverty, particularly in rural areas, is widespread. The infrastructure, from roads and bridges to the electrical grid, is often old and unreliable. Power outages are a common frustration, and access to modern healthcare and quality education can be limited, especially outside of the main cities. The landscape, for all its beauty, can be unforgiving. The annual monsoon, while essential for the rice crop, can also bring devastating floods and landslides. There is also the constant complex challenge of building a unified nation from a diverse tapestry of ethnic groups, each with its own history and aspirations. How does a country balance the pressures of modernization with the need to preserve its unique cultural identity? How does it create opportunities for its people while navigating a complex and often uncertain political landscape? These are the vital questions that the people of Myanmar grapple with, thoughtfully and with a deep well of resilience, every single day. So why do people choose to stay? Why, in the face of so many challenges, do they remain so deeply rooted in this land? The answers are not found in economics or politics, but in the heart. They stay for the unbreakable bonds of family, for the profound, unshakable sense of community, for the feeling of belonging to a place where people genuinely know and care for one another. They stay for the faith, for a spiritual tradition that provides meaning, comfort, and a moral guide for life. In a world that can feel chaotic and uncertain, the teachings of Buddhism offer a rare and precious sense of peace and perspective. And above all, they stay for the unbreakable connection to home, to a landscape that is not just a backdrop for their lives, but an integral part of their identity. It is a connection that is felt in the rhythm of the monsoon rains, in the taste of the rice from their own fields, and in the shared, collective memory of a people who have weathered every storm with grace and fortitude. It is the feeling of having roots that run as deep as the foundations of the ancient temples themselves. Myanmar exists in a delicate, beautiful, and constantly negotiated balance between a past that is cherished and a future that is slowly unfolding, between the untamed beauty of its landscapes and the profound warmth of its communities, between a quiet, gentle rhythm and a resilient, unbreakable spirit. It is a place shaped by the great rivers, by the life-giving rains, and by a deep and abiding faith that resides in its people. Here, life is measured not in grand events, but in the steady, dependable turning of the seasons, in the warmth of a shared meal, in the comfort of a familiar ritual, and in the simple, profound beauty of the everyday. It is a living testament to the idea that in a world of constant, relentless change, there is a deep and lasting power in a life that is grounded in community, in faith, and in the quiet, timeless rhythm of the land.